create a program like Generation Next. And this is our second formal year of being involved with this great organization that unites college faculty from around the country. And I really do hope that you are involved in all the offerings that they provide for you today. Well, Generation Next is a very important program to Namm, to our organization. You saw our corporate video. You saw kind of the background of Namm as a trade association, 114 years old. I know you're dying to get across the street to the 1,600 music project exhibitors that are there. But we invented this program maybe 5 or 6 years ago because we had an intention to want to inspire music students, young people, to really look at the industry and all the career options that were available to them. We heard this great group this morning from the Los Angeles College of Music. Weren't they terrific? Moby? You know, there's so many pathways in the field of music. Singer, songwriter, the great instrumentalist we saw up on the stage with Masumi. Also, one of my favorite gigs, you know, I've never done it, but I've dreamed about it, being a backup singer. I think, you know, there's so many things that you can do, but these couple of days here at Namm is a chance for you to say, there's other things that you can do. There's marketing in the industry, there's support for product development, there's innovation and creation of all sorts. And we're relying on you to guide our future and be part of it. Well, we always really want to bring someone that can inspire us, can help us understand the process of creativity, can help us understand the life in music. And we're just so honored today to bring with you the artist, musician that's joining us this morning. This all happened again because of a very important collaboration with the Los Angeles College of Music, and we're grateful to the faculty, administration, and students. Are there students from this place here today? Am I going to hear you? Los Angeles College of Music. We're grateful for your creativity and all the important things you're doing for music. So this is a moment that we have that very few people have, is to sit kind of quietly and to talk to someone that is truly an innovator in the field of music. Please join me in welcoming Moby. Good to see you.
So I just had an idea.
You just had an idea?
Yeah, which is standing backstage, and I'm very tired because I woke up at 6 this morning. And I feel bad complaining because I have a lot of friends who have kids and whatever who wake up at 6 all the time, but I'm a big sissy.
Right.
And I don't wake up it was dark outside.
It was dark.
You know, part
in
of
LA,
that is like every cell in your body is saying like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in bed asleep.
Okay.
But, so I'm standing back there, tired and caffeinated, and we're all familiar with the world of scholarships, right?
Oh yeah.
To state the obvious, scholarships exist, like you're going to go to college, you apply for a scholarship to help you pay for college, but almost everybody I know is burdened with student loans. Why don't they have postgraduate scholarships? Meaning like someone graduates from college with $50,000 in student loan debt, shouldn't there be scholarships that people could apply for that enable them to pay off their student loan? I'm done.
So what are we going to do about that problem? Let's think about that problem, right?
Okay.
So in other words, it's kind of a career development scholarship as opposed to a college degree, getting a college degree.
Well, it's paying off, like, because when you're, and in a way, it's almost like the way you tip at a restaurant. Like you tip after the meal. You don't tip before the meal. So like a scholarship before someone goes to college, like you could theoretically just be like subsidizing someone's crystal meth addiction. Like I'm gonna go play hacky sack and get stoned.
Well, I think, you know, Moby, we do count on you for a lot of ideas. I really do like that idea. You know, we have a scholarship that helps bring students here to this show. And I think maybe you've sparked another idea. How do we help students make those first couple of years steps into the industry at the same time they're burdened by the realities of their education?
Yeah.
Anyway, great idea. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you for getting up early, coming down The pike.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. We hope your time with us will be as inspiring for you as I know it will be for us. But part of our time here with our students, all aspirational lives in front of us, seeking careers in music, is to really hear a little bit more about your journey, you know, and your experience and the creative process, your life in the industry, ups and downs, ebb and flows, and ultimately, you know, you get to be a little bit of a sage. You have a little advice. Share a little advice.
So I have one question. So the people here, is everyone here more interested in like making music, selling musical equipment? What?
I think a big combination, right?
Who am I talking to?
I think we have a lot. Making music, I mean, performing. Music business majors, right? And almost always in a music business track, you have a big performance requirement. You're coming out of that performance requirement, and you take that little, you know, that little jump ahead.
I just wanted to know who I was talking to.
Yeah. So, and average age probably a lot less than yours or mine.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll be sure to say a lot of things like, well, back in my day.
Right. No, I get to say that, not you. Right.
We invented the train.
So we have to start in the early years. All right. Let's start. I mean, who was your first instruments, your first teachers? It's always valuable to get a base and understand.
Well, I started playing guitar when I was 9 years old. My mom had been a classical pianist, and everyone in my family played music. So I grew up around instruments, started playing classical guitar and studying music theory when I was 9. And then when I was around 13 or 14, I discovered punk rock, and then stopped listening to complicated music and started listening to The Clash and the Bad Brains, and broke my guitar teacher's heart. Because he just wanted me to be this like virtuoso jazz fusion guy, and I wanted to play like Ramones songs.
Yeah. So there's a knife through someone's heart somewhere at that moment. But when you said you studied classical guitar, I mean, so you really did you read music and you understood theory, you did chord structure, voicing, and all of that. So then when you made the transition to the unmusic, the punk rock, it's not unmusic, but it's, did you? It didn't inform that at all?
Oh, it did.
It did. See, I've been wanting somebody to confess this for years.
Oh,
that it did inform. I mean, not you particularly, but in other words, it's not a.
No, it's not.
Music is still in there.
I mean, if you look at the history of like 20th century art, music, culture, whatever, like even look at someone like Jackson Pollock, the abstract expressionist. Like he came from a figurative, formal background, or Marcel Duchamp, or even like Miles Davis, like as he became more, or John Coltrane, when they experimented, they had a traditional background. So the fact that I had a very traditional music background, I think served me really well as I moved into more sort of experimental, unconventional types of music.
And if there's little nuggets of wisdom or advice along the way, from every musician I've ever interviewed, from Wynton Marsalis to David Gilbert, the New York Philharmonic, it's just like you've got to have the basics somewhere, and the basics sort of started innocently, right? And you rejected them. But
not so much rejected, more just my enthusiasms took me in other directions. Because ultimately, my goal as both a musician and a listener, I'm sort of in service. By the way, the slap back against the back of the room is disconcerting because I hear everything I'm saying and a second later.
Can you fix that?
No, I think the only way I could fix it is like blow up that wall back there.
Oh, okay. Well, we could try. We want to come back to Anaheim.
But a lot of, and I'm not going to malign the world of virtuoso musicianship, but virtuoso musicianship has to exist in service of the emotional content of music. And so, meaning my goal is to both create and listen to music that really resonates with me emotionally, and I don't care how it's made. We don't need the monitors as much because it's on the edge of feeding back things. So it's whether it's listening to Rhapsody in Blue, or Drop It Like It's Hot by the Neptunes and Snoop Dogg. Like Rhapsody in Blue is so complicated and flawless and beautiful. Drop It Like It's Hot doesn't have music in it, but it's still amazing.
Right.
And so the two things can perfectly coexist. You know, you can have rudimentary non-musical music that's very emotional, coexisting perfectly with super complicated symphonic classical music. And because ultimately, music is something that each person, forgive me because I'm stating the obvious, but it's something that each person relates to subjectively. There's no such thing as objective criteria for evaluating music. You know, you can't say, even there's no objective criteria for evaluating a recording. You know, and if you doubt that, go on YouTube and listen to Billie Holiday singing Strange Fruit. You know, a microphone 15 feet away from her, you can barely hear her, barely hear the instrumentation, and it's perfect. No fidelity, and it's so emotional. So like, music can be anything. It can be recorded and disseminated however you want. It's up to the individual to determine whether it's good or not.
But I think what you said is very freeing. You know, I think that probably reflects your journey too. You're at a place that you had that classical beginning, the rudimentary beginning, and then you took a branch early and then you built and built and built and built. I think it's very
And that ultimate
validating.
question,
It's very validating.
yeah, that ultimate question, not how should I be responding to this music, but how do I respond to the music? You know, and be open to everything. You know, because I have a lot of friends who are like jazz guys who only listen to jazz. I'm like, come on, like jazz is great, but there's so many other amazing genres out there. Like, why arbitrarily restrict yourself, especially now that music doesn't cost anything? You know, like in the olden days, if you had $20 to spend on a CD, you'd be like, well, I only want to buy this CD in this genre that I love. And now, like, go on Spotify or Pandora, it doesn't cost anything. Experiment, listen to all these different musicians and different genres.
It's maybe part of our new, you could say sort of our professionalism is to have broad understanding of music. Right? Is to take it all. It's like a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
To really experience and be open to it. Any significant first teachers besides the one that you put the knife through the heart?
No. You know the expression autodidact? Like, so I'm sort of, I mean, I had like 5 years of traditional, you know, studying like classical music, jazz fusion, music theory, and after that, everything's self-taught.
Yeah. And now that's it's so much easier in essence to with technology. But teachers were there for you, your family was there for you, they bolstered you, they gave you the opportunity. You know, a lot of what Namm and the Namm Foundation is concerned about is to assure that all children have the chance to learn music, so they can enter into the pool and swim. You know?
And what I think is really interesting, and not just in the world of music and arts, but in a lot of different sort of healing modalities. I know I sound like a cliched New Age Southern Californian, but
He's really from New York.
Yeah.
I'll never go let you down on
yeah,
that.
born on 148th Street.
Right. We're really not happy about that.
Me leaving?
Yeah. We're really.
Blame Whitey.
Right. We think he might come back eventually. Anyway, I digress. So.
What I was going to say is, up until recently, the way people responded to things was all anecdotal. So for example, if you were to make a compelling case for music education